Hey, welcome to the segment. Today we're talking about Fear the Walking Dead. Me and Kivan here just saw the first 2 episodes of the series, and we're going to give our thoughts, opinions on it, and we're going to be doing this every week.
It's kind of fun. I'm looking forward to it, yeah.
So I think I've seen this concept on TV before, but we're doing the web version of it, you know, and it's kind of a different format than the Talking Dead series because we're coming at it more from, I think, fans that are just enjoying the show as opposed to...
Yeah, absolutely. I think because we've just seen it, we're very fresh to it. And I think it's nice. We've read some reviews already. Obviously, the first 2 episodes have aired. And this week there wasn't one. So that was a perfect timing for us to come in and review the first 2. And then we'll be ready for the 3rd one with you guys.
And the thing about, especially zombie fans, which I'm a fan of everything zombie, all zombie movies. When you see a movie or when you see a TV show, you can't get enough of talking about it, for me at least.
I agree.
So I think that, we can add something maybe to the conversation. So having just seen the first 2 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead, what do you think about the series?
Well, I got to tell you, I liked what you prefaced originally, but let me just tell you, when we go to work, we stand around and the coffee pot, as it were, and the first thing we want to talk about is The Walking Dead. So, with anticipation was the new show, the Fear the Walking Dead. Were we going to still be able, to sit or stand by the coffee pot and talk about it with the same excitement? Yes, that's it. But let's talk a little bit about the show, because I know you started there. What did I think of the first 2 episodes? Obviously, because they don't know about the zombies. And, obviously there's going to be a few... You've got the one little chap, that knows all about zombies and he's terrified about it. And Tobias. And, he's kind of given the clue. But as adults, really, zombies, that's movies, that's TV. So how do you make it exciting right from the off? Well, I thought they did a good job. You have to build a little bit of suspense. And the way to do that, truthfully, is to buy into the people. Because if you don't really like the family dynamic, if you don't really like who it's about, you don't care if they die. But what we've got to do is start fearing a little bit for them. Because we know, because we've watched The Walking Dead, how it's going to, perpetuate.
Well, that's one thing. I mean, the first season of the first Walking Dead, I think, was brilliant. When you watch the season as a whole, it's almost like a song or something. It's like a masterpiece from beginning to end.
I agree.
But one thing you do miss in it is that he wakes up basically, 30 days into the
apocalypse or
whatever. So you miss that whole experience of the world crumbling,
exactly.
Which is what we're going to get to see here. In terms of the characters, we're still getting to know them. One thing that is a little bit hard after seeing the first 2 episodes, though, is that I don't know exactly who's going to be... who I'm supposed to be rooting for exactly. I mean, obviously, there's the family, but the original series had some great obvious dynamics, like the main character,
Rick.
Brain's dying here. Obviously, Rick is the cornerstone of that show. He's like the person you see the show through.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's kind of changed in the last season or 2, but for the first season, it was Rick. I'm wondering who I'm supposed to see the show through with this, because I call him Discount Johnny Depp, right?
Yes.
You would think that he would be your protagonist, because you kind of started off with him and you're kind of spending a lot of scenes with him. But he's so drugged out, and his decisions are so irrational that he's hard to relate to.
And I think that's the point, though, isn't it? Maybe that's how it's starting off, that you see him so fractured, he's different, you're kind of not really rooting for him, and then maybe that's the whole point. Maybe he does change, because we don't know, do we?
I'm expecting he's going to be the cornerstone of the show, but I think right now he's just so... some of his decisions are so... I mean, anybody that saw these people get killed in the first scene... they would have simply told the police, at least, hey, there's a murder here. You know what I mean?
Well, he wasn't...
It's just those kinds of decisions where they're kind of... I know they're using them to build the suspense. You kind of wonder why he didn't just tell the police after he sobered up, well, there was still a murder. You know, maybe they took bath salts and they ate each other, but there's some murdered people in this church right now.
Well, the thing is, and I'm not going to talk for drug addicts, period, but I mean, the reality is maybe the trip was so intense that he felt it really was a dream, and maybe it wasn't real, and then, because when he was in the hospital, he was, you know, under sedation or whatever it would be. So, you know, it's very hard to believe a kid who's probably always lived on drama, you know, so...
But the badass stepdad, too. I mean, how much of a badass do you have to be to see all this blood on the ground, not call the cops in, go back and talk to your wife, and then when they... When he killed that drug dealer, when the discount Johnny Depp killed the drug dealer, they didn't know really about zombies yet, and the dad and the mom still didn't call the police. They're just like, let's get the hell out of here.
Well, at this point, you know, your son's with a drug dealer.
Yeah.
You know, your son...
I'm just saying, that's pretty interesting choices, you know.
Well, but here's the thing, you know, okay, you're going to protect your child no matter what, okay?
Yes.
Well, you know...
My parents would have turned me the hell out.
Well, you're lucky you had parents, I didn't know it.
Okay.
But the point is, you know, here they are, you know, in a very weird situation. The son is obviously an habitual drug offender, as it were. And then, you know, he drives him over, runs over somebody, which he already professes to have stabbed him, and now he runs him over. I mean, you're going to call the cops and say my son's, you know, I don't know. Or maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't.
It just seems like some odd writing, like kind of necessity stuff. Because one of the things while they're pulling up, he's like, well, it was self-defense. Don't worry about it. But it becomes a lot less self-defense after you drive away and leave the scene, too, for a second time.
Well, they go back and run him over a few times.
Yeah. You know, but they bring their son back to the
scene of the crime,
the scene of the defense, and then he runs him over a few times, and then they drive away from the scene of the defense, assuming at some point they were going to call the police a few hours later and be like, "Hey, let me tell you about this story." I mean, then the world falls apart immediately after, but they didn't know that was going to happen.
No. But
it's just kind of there's just. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, zombie films.
Yeah.
Intellectuals.
Yeah, I'm thinking too much into it.
This is not the Parisian movie where they're sitting with a cup of coffee each saying, ooh la la, you know.
Yeah.
It's a zombie film, which obviously at this point, they have to start it slowly. Because if it started off in the first 30 seconds and then continued for the full hour of people ripping each other up, you wouldn't have had anything to believe in. You wouldn't have had a family dynamic. So the Clark family... right now is where we're kind of assuming it's going to be, and now they've moved into the barbershop, the Solsars, and that I think is going to there's something there. I'm not sure they're good or bad, but there's something. You never know with
The Walking Dead, though.
Yes, exactly.
I thought the same thing about the one character. I'm really disappointed to see go was the principal.
I agree.
Part of The Walking Dead, and I think it's because it was based on a comic book.
Yes.
When you look at just the way that the characters look in the original series, they have some really unique physical features, and they're really recognizable people.
Right.
And I felt like that when I saw that principal. I was like, "There's a main character right there. He's got a really unique look. He's really cool looking, and it would be cool to have that, like a strong." Person who's used to dealing with assholes his whole life, you know, like with teenagers, to deal with zombies. I would think he would succeed in this universe, and then boom.
I think that's
what the hell?
Well, I mean, that's maybe part of the shock factor. You know, the people that you would think would probably deal with it the best, they're probably not going to be. Hence the drug addict and so on, so forth. But you know, you got little Tobias. You know, bless him. You know, he's running around with his little knife trying to sneak into school. And he's obviously a bit of a nerd in the terms of computer. He's already knowing what's going on across the world. And he looks more to be a survivor, even though they're probably going to ride him out and you never see him again. But maybe he comes back in.
You know, this show is definitely known for taking people out from even 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah, and bringing them back, and seeing where the new dynamic of where they've ended.
He's going to show back up in season 4 with a wife and kids or something.
Well, I'm probably the leader of some major big
the resistance
exactly against the zombies. You know. So
now I guess this whole series too is supposed to be a prequel. I mean, the entire series too. So, do you think that they could have waited a few more episodes before the shit started hitting the fan, or because they basically kick it off in like episode 2.
Yeah, we did have that discussion earlier today, and there's quite a few of us actually involved, and we were talking, and we were both of the opinion that maybe could have started off building more dynamics. But then when you read the reviews, which we go on, and people are giving it 1 out of 10 because there's not enough action. Well, already that tells you that they just want zombie kill, zombie kill, zombie kill. Are they missing the point? I think they are, because it hasn't happened yet. So you can't really have all these, like I said, the first 30 seconds is fine because we don't really know what's going on. But then you've got to build the movie, or the show, which, by the way, I think it'd make a great movie, The Fear the Walking Dead. It would be a kind of an impressive movie to make. But the problem is, if you haven't attached yourself to anybody, or you're not seeing it through their eyes, like you said with Rick in The Walking Dead, where are you going to go with it? You can't just have just a zombie kill, zombie kill, zombie kill. It'll build to that, but you got to let it build. It's rather like music, You're building the crescendo, and it comes up and then boom, and then it's fantastic. But if you start it really loud, there's no build up to it, and it's not fun, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
I wish they would have had a little bit more build already. And I'm sure the world hasn't collapsed yet at the end of episode 2.
Right.
But there's zombies running around already in the streets.
Yep.
And police are already fleeing town, and the stuff is already getting bad. I personally could have waited 4 or 5 episodes and seen hints of zombies, maybe even the government trying to cover it up more.
Well, maybe that's to come.
More science involved.
Maybe that's to come. Who knows? But I think that's a valid point. I think we should have probably
like maybe like one town gets quarantined and they contain it for an episode, but everybody else still doesn't know about it.
Well, the problem is LA, right?
Yeah.
And the problem with LA, they're still rioting. They're still going out and getting televisions probably, but for what reason? Because that's how LA ticks. It's a whole different feel to it, and Detroit or Modesto or wherever you're at, it may go down differently. And to your point, if the government was to come out and be airing things, but 3 days in, the power was gone. So even if the government was doing it, you couldn't hear about it. What would you do if there was a big earthquake or something, or a big disaster like a zombie disaster? In 3 days, the power grids go down. No cell phones, no house phones, no nothing. So even if you had an effective government, how are they going to get the message out? That's the thing. Think about it for a minute. I mean, it's pretty staggering. So
it's not going to be on YouTube, but keep a ham radio in the garage. You might be able to talk.
Wind it once so the batteries keep charged. Yeah, exactly.
I think that's funny too, because you mentioned that, and I've always thought I have a place I would go, kind of in the mountains, but they're heading out to the freaking desert, which seems like a horrible place to go.
Well, no water.
Yeah,
I mean, let's get water. There's water.
No food, no water. Like, let's go out to the middle of the freaking desert.
This is not water. And by the way, if you want to put your bottle here, you can pay us for the rights. We'll definitely do that for you.
Yeah, he's talking about sponsorship too. We're looking for sponsors. And if you have like a craft beer that you'd like this zombie fans to see, and also too, we're going to be talking about as we move forward. This is going to be a series,
Absolutely.
But we also talk about movies.
Oh yeah,
and we're going to have several different series and different people in too.
Absolutely, we're going to get guests and change up the settings. Hope you like this setting. This is kind of fun, very I don't know, 50s diner style. So maybe that's fun. So going back to sponsorship, if you're interested, he'll give you the information later.
Yeah.
But for right now, let's talk about what we were talking about. Fear the Walking Dead, the government. Okay, so the government cannot now communicate to the armies, the police. Total disaster, mate. That's what's coming. I mean, how
and
it's going to be.
That's what I think. I myself, and I think a lot of zombie fans, we like that aspect of it.
Yes.
It's not so much the zombies themselves sometimes.
I know.
But watching the collapse of society and imagining, and everybody thinks too. Everybody that's a fan of The Walking Dead thinks, "Oh, I'd be one of the survivors."
Oh yeah,
obviously.
Of course we are.
Yeah.
You and I, right?
Yeah, we're already thinking, we're already planning. Oh, I know, I'd
hide in the basement,
I'd do this. Yeah,
your drinks.
Exactly. But for some reason, everybody dies, which I hope that they explore in this series, because when you can take out a zombie with a headshot, I want to see why. I hope they can come up with a clever reason as to how zombies can take out the United States freaking army if it all takes is a headshot to kill them.
Well, they didn't know that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they would figure it out.
But the thing is, pretty
damn quick.
Well, surely you will. But I mean, if you put 20 rounds into a guy and you think he's dead, you turn around and he gets up and bites you, and he's one of the soldiers, and then he goes out and attacks his soldier. So I mean,
they figured it out in episode 2. Didn't they mention I think it was something where one of the cops, after they shot the person a few times, they're like, "Oh, headshot."
Well,
no, it's like a girl said that in school. Yeah,
exactly.
14-year-old girl figured it out.
Well, that's the thing, you know. But who listens to 14-year-old kids, right?
Headshot.
Definitely not the parents. Yeah. But no, I think as the characters are going to develop, I think we're going to see a bit more of a roller coaster. Certainly more fun stuff. But I think if you are a true zombie fan and that's what you're into, I think give it time. Honestly, give it time, let it develop. It's, you know, and we've talked about this before, but I'm a filmmaker, not a professional one by any means, but certainly that's what I like to do. I like to write scripts and things, and had some success with it. But the point I'm getting to is that if I say it should be more this way, someone else will say, well, I preferred it more that way. So there never is any right or wrongs. But as a writer, you wanted to develop, you know, the whole characters, because without the characters it gets a little shallow, I think. So what I would do is develop them, and then I'd bring in like you've been saying. The problem is that the zombie fans right now, what I've been reading, giving it a 1 out of 10.
Yeah, and we're just talking about not professional critics, but fans like us.
Yeah, fans like us, you know, and they're entitled to their view, but you know, 1 out of 10, maybe they were thinking the first episode was going to be rock, but it can't be, because it's not happened yet. It's the pre-sequel, if you will, prequel to the show, and so therefore, you know, nothing's, you know, really, the world hasn't fallen apart yet.
And I can't wait till Johnny Depp does sober up, because I want to see what his character's really like. You know, because
he's the savior, right?
He was kind of annoying me in the first two. Just that. It's like that show Breaking Bad, the Jesse character in it, where he's just kind of
that show. By the way.
but sometimes you're just like,
no, I know.
Come on, Jesse. You know, figure it out.
But what a great show!
Yeah, oh yeah,
we'll talk about that one.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah,
but
that was a great show.
Obviously, you know, there was probably a little bit of influence on that, and you know, because it's the same. Maybe, you know, it's on the same network. You know, maybe there's some of the same writers involved at this point.
Well, we can look. I think certainly.
And there's the theory that it's the same universe. And I was hoping too, when they were started talking about drugs, and you know, it would have been a huge nod to the fans. I was so disappointed that they didn't find blue meth in there. I was waiting.
Blue meth?
Yeah, because there's this theory. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Okay, there's this theory that the...
this is a spoiler. I've never heard of it.
No, it's not a spoiler. Everybody already knows. He just doesn't watch enough YouTube.
I don't watch enough YouTube, okay.
There's a theory that the Breaking Bad universe is in the same universe as The Walking Dead.
Okay.
And that it's the Walter White's blue meth that caused the zombie apocalypse.
What amazing! If that was amazing tie-in,
and then they started
full circle.
Yeah, and that they started off as drug addicts in this show. I was like, oh my god, they're using the blue meth. But I guess it's established they were using heroin. But you know, I don't know why they didn't take that opportunity, because I thought that's what they were really going for. But
that's one of the reasons why I like doing the show with you, because I never knew that.
Yeah,
and I thought, you know, I know a lot of things, but I didn't know that. So there you are. He's a smart guy. Well, I'm just a dumb blonde. What can I tell you?
It's all about spending 6 or 7 hours on YouTube a day. That's the minimum.
Or at night in your
case. Yeah, exactly. At night, you know, staying up all night watching YouTube stuff. But I mean, basically, what are your hopes for the show? What do you want to see them accomplish in season 1?
Well, I think, you know, obviously I can't wait to get to the killing like everybody else. You know, I think that's so cool. But I just think if they continue the pace and just accelerate a little bit more, you know, each episode, and then get it to the level of The Walking Dead. That's all I can add for you.
I just hope they don't go out to the desert and walk around the desert for 3 episodes.
I think the Soul Stars are good. Okay. The Soul Stars, you got to watch them. There's something either good or something very terrible with his family, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm going to tell you they're going to be in this. They're not just a 2 episode now. They're going to be here. There's something very cool there, I think. Hopefully, I mean, you know, I didn't write it, so I'm not going to take the credit all the.
You know, I think they
the hits for it.
It's very, very obvious, and it's established fact, but it's also obvious in the show of the original Walking Dead that, especially in season 2, and so on, that in order to save money, they kind of took the main characters and stuck them out in the middle of nowhere. I hope that we get to see more. I hope we get to see the world crumble through these families' eyes and get to see real society. Well, I don't want to leave LA in season 1. I want to stay in LA.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they should fortress it and build it up a little bit. But you know, when we were talking earlier today, one of the things we talked about was maybe there should be some other family dynamics, and maybe in different countries, and see how they're affecting.
What's going on in Japan?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just to show a quick clip is not enough. Maybe we should show a bit more, and maybe that's what we show. Some different countries. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I thought a good idea that I thought for a series would be that each episode is a different cast of characters.
And then pull it all together.
Yeah, you have a New York episode and a LA episode and even London. Because the thing is about the Walking Dead original series, the whole world's fallen. Even though they don't say anything about the whole world, there's no planes in the sky, there's no help anywhere, there's no radio signal, there's no internet, nothing. So somehow the zombies got all around the world, and there's so many stories to tell.
Yeah, I mean, you could have
so many.
Someone on the plane, comes off the other end and infectious, and so
what about astronauts getting stuck up in space in the space station? Watching this happen. I mean, that'd be boring, but it's still it's the kind of thing I think about. Like, I mean, it could be a fun episode, but like what are you gonna do?
Space,
I mean, after like 6 months, then you have to jettison down, and then you have to swim out, and now you're on your own.
Well, and you got submarine crews who suddenly come up.
Yeah, there's got to be submarine crews that are still going strong, even in The Walking Dead season 4. There's got to be some
somebody out there
military.
That's not affected.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see some more stories. I mean, The Walking Dead original series is fine. I'm not talking about changing that one.
Well, except for episode the
season two
was
hard.
Was hard work.
It was very hard.
Yeah, I almost gave up.
Yeah, but
glad I didn't though.
Yeah, but I think that's great. That one story. I just don't think we need a second entire series dedicated to one band of people going through the apocalypse again.
Well, unless there's some detached way that they end up all the same place where suddenly Rick's laying on the floor, and maybe if that's the way it goes, or is it going in an entirely different direction?
Well, they're on the other side of the country, though.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But maybe they do move. Maybe that's the tie-in right there. Who knows? Maybe it goes in an entirely different way, and then we have The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, and then maybe that goes.
What I think I want, let's say this, I want a third one.
That's
and so we can watch it every week of the year. We can have a series.
Hey.
And let's make the third one Walking Dead World. And so, we have a Japan episode, we have a Russian episode, and we just see how, because you can see, just in the first 2 episodes, you got a good sense of the world kind of crumbling. I would love to see that same concept in Korea or something, or Australia,
No, it makes sense. The other thing that, again, we discussed this a little earlier because obviously we didn't want to come to the camera with nothing to talk about, but obviously, so we watched the show, but we also discussed about the Walking Dead as well. And I asked people at work today, round the coffee, about the new series and did they like it, and everybody's yes, love it. We've been talking about it for 2 weeks, and there wasn't one this week. Why?
Labor Day, I guess. Probably a union thing.
That's a good point, maybe. But so, that was painful. A whole Sunday without Fear the Walking Dead. But one of the things I heard was, why isn't it 2 hours? 1 hour's not enough. And I agree.
It could be
2 hours.
Honestly, they could do, in a way, I heard the writer of it say I forget his name, but kind of the creator of the show.
Okay.
He was asked, how do you write an episode? He said, I write a soap opera and then I put in zombies into it. And honestly, if we can get Days of Our Life, 5 hours a week, we could have at least 2 hours a week of Walking Dead.
Right. I totally agree. Days of Our Lives, there you go. Those were the days. Anyway, but, going back to the whole why they enjoyed it, when we asked them, was that they felt they were involved, buying into the families. And, they were surprised the principal died. Wasn't everybody. They all were annoyed at Nick Clark, right? And then, Alicia's playing Alicia. Figure that one out. So, there are some dynamics. The fact he has another family and now he's with them and not with his new family.
I think
that's
Walking
a nice
Dead,
twist.
Walking Dead's classic for the love triangle. They're already starting. You can tell something's going to happen there. And I think they hired a recognizable actress. I forget her name, but from Orange Is the New Black. It was cool to see her in something. So you can tell she's probably going to stick around. And so
and Cliff, isn't it, the other gentleman? Yeah, he's a good actor as well. So you've got, you know, some good dynamics in there, some good actors that really carrying it on their back.
I'm just already imagining they're probably going to never meet up again for probably like, you know,
2 seasons.
2 seasons, and he's going to be married back to his ex-wife.
Yeah,
you know,
and then they do.
And then it's going to be a whole big drama.
And maybe the drug addict son's now, you know, the prime minister or something, or president. I'm sorry, I'm from England, but you know, who knows? I mean, that's the wonderful thing about it. Nobody knows.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what's good about it.
And every week you're in anticipation. And the fun thing for me is, having watched it, you know, I've got to watch it Sunday night, because otherwise I can't be involved in the conversation on Monday. Because what are you going to do? No, spoiler, and you've got to run away. So if you want to talk to those folks, you've got to watch it Sunday night. Absolutely, watch it, love it.
And that's, you know, what we're here for too, because I feel that YouTube is a community. And I feel that the two of us talking here, we're also involving you watching, because we want it to feel like a kind of a roundtable discussion, and because that's what I feel when I'm watching people talk about a movie or a show. Is I kind of you know, want to get to know them and want them to just be honest and just be personable and be real people, no matter what the opinion is, even if I disagree with it, as long as it's, you know, we're having a real honest discussion in the spirit of YouTube and in the community of YouTube, and just talking about something we enjoy.
You know, I think it's a very valid point. You know, we're not paid critiques. You know, we're fans.
Although we'd like to be, like you said, if you have a beer
Sponsor.
or a liquor,
that would help.
Yeah, or wear a T-shirt with your
logo. The logo. Pull your car up. You know, Xfinity big behind us. So, you know, what I think is the dynamics of the people make it very interesting to watch. But I think, having watched the first 2 episodes, I'm hooked. I hope you are. If you're not, give it another shot, because I think it's really going to start taking up.
Before we take off, I did want to mention something, because I'm hooked as well, and I love the Walking Dead too. But I kind of mentioned to you earlier today, though, what's funny about this is that this series is, I feel like the rewatch value for me is crap. Like I love The Walking Dead.
Yep, I can't.
But I don't want to rewatch it because it is like a soap opera in a way where I think it's like when you go back to and I've rewatched season 1 once or twice, but if you go back to like season 3 or something when they're in the jail or something, there's so many twists and turns in this show. You could love it, but to rewatch, like, I mean, I'm not going to go to season 2, but imagine if you had to sit down and rewatch season 2.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what the DVD sales are, you know, because obviously people do enjoy it and like to go back and watch it. But I'm with you on that one. I'm not a big fan of, excuse me, I love to buy films, and certain television shows I will buy, but not many, I have to say, because I'm more of a movie buff. And this because of the fact it was a movie or a comic originally, I suppose. But that's why I love this series. But do I want to go out and buy the series? You know, not going to do it. You know, will I watch the reruns? Now, I know a lot of people who do, and I'm fascinated. Oh, the reruns wrong. Well, that's fabulous, you know. Yeah,
I think it's just that they kill off so many characters, and there's so many defining turns in the show that when you go back and watch it, you're like, he's going to die in 3 episodes. It takes out a lot of that. I think that most
well, you're a cynic anyway.
Yeah, I'm a cynic anyways. But I'll sit down. There'll be movies and shows that I'll rewatch over and over whenever they're on. Can't think of one in particular right now, but you know, I mean, something like The Godfather. It's an epic, and you could sit there. You know, Godfather 2's on. You're gonna leave it on if it comes on, you know, and watch it. Even though I've seen it, you know, maybe 100 times.
Tombstone, Wired Up.
Yeah.
Sit and watch them 10, 20, 50 times.
I love Tombstone. I'll sit down and watch it
Casino,
right now. Yeah. But coming over here, what's funny is we had already both seen the first 2 episodes. And then when I came over to the set tonight, we were going to watch the first 2 episodes again. And I was kind of like, oh man, I have to sit through that. Even though I really enjoyed watching it, I was just like sitting through 2 hours of it again. I think it's because it's got almost like it's like a soap opera for guys, and you don't want to go watch old episodes of a soap opera.
Well, I think the other thing is the anticipation of the next one. You know, so you don't want to kind of, you know, one of the things that drives me nuts, and maybe you agree, maybe you don't, is when they show you what's going to happen next week. I can't stand that. I've got to right away cut it off because I don't want to know.
Guess too. You can guess sometimes. Like, the way that they...
Yeah, especially as you know, from my background, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think, oh my god, now I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that kills it for me. So I don't want to know.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 2 episodes, if I did miss something, you know, I don't really want to be reminded of it because that'll spoil it for the 3rd because I might pick up what it's going to be. Yeah. So for me, I don't like doing that. But today we had to because you know we had to get this show on the road. Yeah. And so we had to watch it, and you know, it wasn't painful, but it wasn't the greatest thing we've had to do. Mm-hmm. But the first 2 episodes, if you watch them fresh, brilliant. Watching them second time around was a little harder work, but still enjoyed it though.
Yeah, I just think maybe it's a personal thing for me, but maybe there's some people that agree. For me, so much of the enjoyment in the show is being surprised.
Yes.
So if you're not surprised and you're watching it,
it's
almost like maybe you see it for more of what it is sometimes too, because that's the thing. Like if you just watched. If you had never seen Walking Dead before, and you watched 1 episode of season 4, you might say, this show is fucking ridiculous.
Excuse language.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
But if you know the characters, you know, that particular person getting killed, that's a humongous shock. You know? But if you just watch, if you don't have that surprise element to The Walking Dead, it takes out a lot of the...
and here they are digging a grave and you don't know who's going to be in it. That was a shock, you know, I mean, goodness me. But going back to the show we're watching right now, I think it's very difficult for the actors as well because they know that they're going into...
Oh, yeah, I mean,
you know, a lot of heat because of the prior show.
They're going to be criticized a hell of a lot more. If this show if The Walking Dead didn't exist and this was our first exposure to it, we'd all be pooping our pants.
We'd be loving it. Yeah, we would. And that's the point I think you made I was trying to allude to, but you made it very poignantly, is the fact that if this was the first, we would be very excited. The fact that it's they're following probably the most successful show ever is tough. But they did a good job with it, and I think it's going to get better. I really do. So stick with it, please.
Awesome. Well, basically... this is Blue Number Media on YouTube, and BlueNumberMedia.com is a website that is coming. If you go to BlueNumberMedia.com right now, it just takes you to the YouTube channel. So it's kind of a holding place. And we're going to be setting up ways to contact. Right now we have a Facebook page, Facebook.com/BlueNumberMedia on Facebook. And if you want to send a message to that, or send a message to BlueNumberMedia@gmail.com. If you want to send a message and get in touch and maybe a sponsor or something, or just say hi. Or...
Yeah, and this is an embryo for us, so it's brand new, so we're moving forward with that and creating a better pages and things.
Yeah, and I think it's a great dynamic because Kivan has a long history in film and television and writing and producing, and I have a long history in YouTube. This is not my first foray into YouTube and doing commentary and stuff, so I think it's a really good kind of dynamic, and I think there's a lot of fun coming out.
Well, we're going to change the sets. We're going to get some guests, you know, people, and maybe if you like the show, let us know who you'd like to see. Maybe we can get them on the show.
He knows a lot of people, and it's great. I'm really excited about some of the people that are going to be coming on, and just their experience and insight into the world of film.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're trying to bring is something a little different. You know, round table as you mentioned. Next time it might be square, but we're going to change it up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. And I believe even tomorrow we'll have another movie review up.
Yes,
so you can check out MovieFansReact.com where we talk about movies too.
Excellent.
All right.
Well, cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Actually, I should do it with my real drink.
There you go.
Never toast with water. That's unlucky.
All right.
Cheers.
Bye.